league this season or something like that. Something ridiculous. So he's definitely the favorite, but flying is kind of the new golden boy for eSTRO. He's been winning in a lot of games. So obviously we're going to see how things work. Anyway, whoa, the Reaver drops out, but he only had like one hit left on the Reaver. So he manages to get a Scarab off and kill those Vultures off, but loses his Reaver in the process. Not the best trade-off, but he's now going to be able to keep mining at that third base. He's also trying to ninja an expansion to the 9 o'clock base as well. So this is turning into a really big macro game here. Both players just macroing up and excuse me, and trying to do some harassment, but mostly macro. And here comes those shuttles back in there. Oh, looks like he loses the shuttle. I think he only got one Dragoon out of that shuttle. So he lost some unit, hopefully not a Reaver, in that shuttle. And, whoa. Tanks getting dropped in the national expansion. Crap getting dropped all over the map here for both players. This is absolutely crazy. These Dragoons, it looks like they managed to kill off that Wraith. But it looks like he also lost the shuttle, the second shuttle. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. He's producing another thing at the starport, maybe another Wraith. He might be trying to get another Wraith out. Excuse me for a second. Sorry about that. I'm back now. He might be trying to get another Wraith out. He's been using the Wraiths pretty effectively against those shuttles. Could just be more dropships, so he's been doing a lot of dropship play. Woo. His line's been having a lot of close calls with those mines popping up and the Dragoons killing off the mines before they get a hit. Anyway, more Vulture drops going on here. And it doesn't look like he got a bunch of mines out. Usually when you see drops like that, they'll plant a bunch of mines, you know, on the ramp or whatever to slow down whatever units are coming to stop them. And that's not the case this time. Anyway, what's going on here? It looks like the probe's running away from something, whatever was in that dropship, but he's picked them back up into the dropship is what it looked like. And so now he's able to run back. I think I could have been looking at two different locations. I'm sorry if I was mistaken different locations there. Anyway, this game is just becoming completely insane. Things getting dropped all over the place. So we do see a couple tanks now being dropped out. They're going to be able to siege up and range those probes. He sees that, he maybe even hears those tanks sieging up and pulls the probes off. And now he's going to be able to send in a shuttle. So kind of a silly move. Oh, the dropship almost dead. Hopefully he can pick off that dropship. He's positioning the Dragoons next to the tanks so they avoid to avoid a lot of the siege fire. That's really nice. Nicely done, very effective. And in the same time, dropping a tank and Vultures in the back of the main. Wow. How is he sneaking these dropships in everywhere? This time the mine's actually going off, killing off the Dragoons, so the tank is able to survive a little bit longer and do a little bit more damage, killing off 3 or 4 Dragoons and stopping mining at that main base for a while. So that was an effective attack there. I'm not sure those 2 tanks were very effective since he just lost 2 tanks and a dropship out of the deal. But excuse me, persisting with the drops here. And this is something that we've seen a lot on this map. It makes sense because it is sort of islandy, but it's something we didn't see at first on this map, and more lately we've been seeing players, especially Protoss, play with multiple shuttles and just go mass shuttles for their mobility, that kind of thing. So I'm actually a little bit surprised that Flying doesn't have more shuttles. He's just going for single shuttle and occasionally double shuttles for some harassment. Although possibly it's because he keeps losing his shuttles. So, looks like we had a storm drop over there. 7 kills on that Archon. That was morphing, meaning that the 2 Templar that created it got to a total of 7 kills between them. And I don't think that Wraith is going to be able to take out that Archon. The Archon's going to wake up and destroy the Wraith. Oh! That's my Archon impression. Okay, Archons don't actually sound like that, but it looks like that Archon got hit by the tank, so he's gonna have to fall back. Just chill in the backfield there. C now getting his 4th base up, and Flying still at 4 bases as well. He's got the Arbiters, is what it looks like, coming along. I haven't seen a Tribunal, but it's clearly what he's working towards, is Arbiters. And once we see the recalls, this game is going to get crazy because he's going to be able to do not just 2 shuttles worth of units, but an entire squad's worth of units. Although, he hasn't really been able to build up very much of an army. Neither player has been able to build up a large army at all. Due to all this constant harassment against each other. It looks like a lot of Vultures heading towards that left side base, though. And this could spell... No, it looks like he's got plenty of defenses over here. He's got a DT, but... oh, a couple tanks in the mix as well. He's going to siege them up and hold the vultures outside the tanks to protect them. More Dragoons coming in from the side. He's got an observer with them. Nicely done. So often in the late game, Protoss players don't have observers with their armies. They just A-move their armies, and sometimes entire squads of Dragoons and Zealots will just die to mines unnecessarily. He's going to try and break up that ramp, but it's going to be tough to go up that ramp at the same time as, wow, completely fail storms. 2 storms for 1 SCV, not a good trade-off. Looks like he just had too many forces and was able to get up that ramp eventually, though. Probably lost more Dragoons in the process than was really necessary. Well, would have been really necessary if it had been a longer term thing. If that makes sense. Anyway, more harassment. Dragoon just chilling over here, attacking this new base. Tanks getting dropped over to kill off the Dragoon. Now we're seeing, I still haven't seen the Tribunal, but it's got to be a Tribunal around somewhere. There's the Tribunal. There we go, Arbiter Tribunal. And so he's going to be able to get out Arbiters, and then it's going to get crazy, crazy, crazy. Looks like C's trying to push a little bit down the middle here. Flying has a decent little army there. Again, this is a really strange game. Neither player has really built up much of an army. Usually in a macro game like this, where you have, you know, the Terran player getting his 5th base, the Protoss player at 5 bases, then you're going to have huge armies, you know, maxed armies. Another storm drop. Again, how did those SCVs dot? What the heck happened there? Those SCVs were like right in between those storms somehow and didn't get killed. That was a little bit amazing, to be honest. Anyway, it looks like he's... Oh, I thought it was going to be a storm drop. Storm drop on the 0 SCVs over there, but he's just going to be able to delay that expansion from being effective for a little while longer. This is tough to call. I think I'm going to have to give the game to C at this point. I mean, it looks like C is winning. He's just got so many bases. He's managing to get more bases, and usually, you know, you're going to see, although the recall is can be the great equalizer, if you can recall and just start taking out these bases, you know, it can be really easy with recall to take out bases, and that's all it takes. And again, kind of wasting these Templar. He's cast a lot of storms, and not a lot has come of them. In general, he's kind of using he needs to kind of save those Templar for huge battles where he can cast a storm on like a lot of tanks and that kind of thing. He's trying to do harassment, but C also doesn't have a ton of SCVs in all these bases that he's trying to go after. He needs to go after the more populated bases with these storm drops, like this one. There we go. Still, actually, not a bunch of SCVs there, and it looks like he kills a single SCV with that storm drop. So completely ineffective storm drops in general. Well, not completely. He got 7 kills off the 1 storm drop. He got several kills off the other. And here comes Flying coming in here to try and break this. I don't think he quite has the forces to break this. Although there's only a few tanks left. Maybe if he'd been able to stasis those tanks, he would have been able to win. But actually, there's more forces coming from behind. It looks like he is going to break that tank line after all. I could have been completely wrong. I may have to eat my words here. And we could see Flying taking a win off the auto-win Pro League monster known as Sea Shield. If he can take out that base, he'll be in a really, really good position, especially since he's been able to stop mining in that bottom left position for so long. And he is going to be able to overrun this position and see there's just been so much constant back and forth harassment that C has not been able to build up a huge army, and we just saw what army he had just get completely slaughtered by this force here. And so now the Protoss is going to be able to macro up a new army so much quicker than the Terran, and he's already got map control. We're probably going to see him, well, actually, he probably is not going to try and break into C's natural expansion. We're probably going to see him do recalls from here on out and try and finish off the side bases, because it's going to be really difficult to break in the front door. And I'm going to have to eat my words again. He's trying to break in the front door a little bit. Arbiter coming in there to cloak all of his units. Just a sick couple tanks in the back. He's managed to break the front. Zealots in the front as well. GG coming from Sea Shield. Wow, a little bit of a typo with the first run. But GG coming from Sea Shield. Absolutely amazing. The Pro League monster has actually been defeated by the eSTRO up-and-coming Protoss player. And maybe we're seeing some weakness from Sea Shield here, actually, since he's like 17-3, but 2 of those 3 losses, now 3 of those 4 losses have been in the last couple weeks. So anyway, He's been carrying MBC to the top of the charts, but yeah, we'll see how he can do. Anyway, gonna move on to game 2 though. This series is not over. Time to move on to Up Magic's game.